I am so sorry, everyone. I lost track of time. I went outside to, help my dad with an air compressor and wondering what's going on with our circuit breakers and why I kept resetting our garage lights and everything. I was just helping him out downstairs, and I lost track of time. I knew when I went down there it was already 11:48 or around 11:50. I lost track of time, and I nearly forgot that I had to do this read-through today. My bad, everyone. Let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way. Yo, peoples! JUJUTSU here. I made it just in time. Had to breathe. Yo, peoples! JUJUTSU here, and welcome back to yet another JUJUTSU Kaisen read-through. Today, we are going to be going through Volume 13. I am almost there. To catching up to all the physical volumes that I have. Let me just pace myself just a little bit. Because I need my voice and breathing to be in tip-top shape for all of you. Okay, we're good. Good to see you, Ogata-san, and good to see you, Nico. Good to see all of you. We're going to be continuing with Volume 13 of the series, and if you guys want to see what I'm seeing on these pages, as per, copyright rules and stuff like that, and I don't want to get any strikes on this channel, you can either go to the official Viz site, or the website of your choice. But as I always say, support the official release. So, in the last chapter, we had to deal with Hanami catching up to, the ponytail guy and just beating him mercilessly in order to find out where all the rest of the curse users were. We got the specifics of Mei's curse technique and Ui's curse technique and how they were able to contend with, the, smallpox curse that Gato left behind. Then we have Yuji going up against Choso in bare-knuckle brawling fights, with Yuji defending himself against the blood manipulation. And the numerous times that Yuji kept getting pierced, he still kept fighting him until it got to a point where Yuji was hit point blank with blood manipulation piercing blood. And Yuji was left inside of the restroom while Choso walked away holding his head in confusion as he started getting false memories in his head of Yuji being with him, Kechizu, and Eso. So Choso's dealing with these false memories in his head that just popped up for some odd reason. Like good memories of Yuji, but they're false and they don't exist. And now we're dealing with Nobara, Hanami, and now Obito Zenin, as they're dealing with Dagon. And Dagon is the cursed spirit that was traveling with Gato, Jogo, Mahito, and Hanami earlier on in the series, but we never saw it do anything worth of noting. But it has shown up. Now Obito Zenin bodied it hard enough for it to get sent flying across the subway. And now it apparently has evolved because it turns out it's one of the Cursed Womb's death paintings, and it is evolved in order to avenge the death of Hanami. So now, we get to proceed. Sorry if that catch-up or that recap was a bit long. It's just that a lot happened in the last volume. Let's go ahead and get started today. Volume 13, The Shibuya Incident, Thunderclap. And the chapters we're going to be going through are... Wow, every single chapter is titled The Shibuya Incident. Chapters 107 all the way through chapters 115. So let's go ahead and get started with the first chapter of today. Chapter 107, The Shibuya Incident, Part 25. And Dagon has turned itself into a Cthulhu creature, while now Obito Zenin just stares at it. And then it starts to gather up, what is that, water? Starts to gather up something in its hands, and now Obito prepares to defend himself. And it launches a big, it's a big thing of water. It's a massive water ball, and launches it towards the ground, and it immediately starts to fill up the subway that Maki's in, and she just thinks, water? There's so much. And she embeds her staff into a nearby pillar, and she's just resting on it in order to keep the water from touching her. There's so much. Megumi's Max Elephant doesn't even come close. If we were underground, that would have been game over. And then Naobito just says, "Hey, cursed spirit, do you know how many frames are in 1 second of an animated sequence?" My name is not cursed spirit. These days, it's all about resolution and wanting to increase frame rate. My name is Dagon, Hanami, Jogo, and Mahito. 4K and this, and 60 frames per second that. Here's the thing, Naobito is not even paying attention to Dagon giving its name. My name is Dagon, Hanami, Jogo, and Mahito. 4K this and 60 FPS that. We all bear names, yells out Dagon, and then Naobito just goes, "Don't you find it all so vulgar?" And then Nanami comes up right behind Dagon, and Dagon tries to block this hit from Nanami, and gets sent into the ground. And then as Dagon is getting up, when I hear Dagon, I think of Mehrunes Dagon from Skyrim. Maki comes up right next to Dagon and tries to hit him with her staff, but Dagon catches it. And then Naobito hits Dagon in the side and turns him into like a frame, like a picture frame. And then Nanami comes in and tries to slice Dagon directly in the middle. But nothing happens as Dagon escapes, and it appears that Nanami hits nothing but water. Yeah, he's got like a torrent of water around him. And he's walking in the midst of Naobito, Maki, and Nanami. No damage, or rather it feels like it has boundless HP. Even 2 grade 1 sorcerers aren't enough to exercise you, huh? What a turbulent time we live in. And then Maki's just thinking, darn it, if the geezer hadn't used his curse technique just now, I would have been killed. How humiliating. And Naobito touches this spinning ring of water around Dagon as he goes, "A shield of water, huh? Can you pull off multiple strong attacks simultaneously? You have a massive amount of cursed energy, and I bet you still have other cursed techniques up your sleeve." Then what to do? Easy, before you can use your techniques. And then it shows everyone attacking his shield of water at blinding speeds. "We'll crush you with speed," says Naobito. And they keep going until they try to slice through the shield. And then Dagon just goes, "Impossible." And then there's an explosion of water at Dagon's point of origin. And then Maki looks in that direction. And then Nanami looks in that direction, and Dagon is directly above them. "Oh, that's right, you can levitate. Well, I'd try to flee up high too." And Naobito, knowing what Dagon did, is already above Dagon and prepares to slap him into the ground. And which he does. And Dagon, and the thing is, this Naobito Zenin dude, he is fast, because when he slaps away Dagon into the ground, before Dagon's body actually bounces off good enough, Naobito is already on the ground preparing to hit Dagon again. This Zenin dude is massively strong. "I can't use my techniques," goes Dagon. And then it shows Naobito directly above Dagon as he proceeds to pound his face into the ground. It's this guy's fault. He's fast, probably faster than Jogo. Don't even think about it. And then he proceeds to just pummel Dagon into the ground before he can move. And then something happens that now Bito notices. And a symbol appears on the stomach of Dagon. And Dagon goes, domain expansion. And then the entire area turns into the beach area where we saw Geto, Mahito, and everyone else just chilling. Way in the past. The domain expansion is the beach that we saw. We just never knew it was a domain expansion the whole time. I thought they were legitimately at a beach. But no, it was a domain expansion produced by Dagon. And now Bito's on the beach right now. And that's the end of chapter 107. And then we have scenes I was planning to address but forgot about until now, part 1. Dagon's cursed seal. For domain expansion, Dagon tried to complete the seal with his hands, but now Bito interfered, so he drew a cursed seal on his stomach. The design is that of a hotai, purse, which can also be used for male kimonos worn at Miyamairi, Shinto rite of passage for newborns. Interesting. So since now Bito messed up Dagon's hands, it couldn't form the necessary seal to do its domain expansion, so it made it on its stomach instead. Chapter 108, The Shibuya Incident, Part 26. Domain expansion. Horizon of the captivating Skanda. And then Maki gets hit, and Hanami gets hit. And it looks like it's just, they were hit at lightning speed by Piranha. A Shikigami? That must be the domain's can't miss attack. I didn't notice it until it hit me. No, it didn't exist until it hit me. And then Dagon is thinking to himself, I knew it. This guy's different. Because the fish, one of the fish that tried to hit at Naobito is sliced clean in half in different spots beside Naobito. Secret art, falling blossom emotion. Falling blossom emotion. Actually, before we continue here, I want to link people to this real quick so people can know. Even if it's just a random amount of people, I just want to link the stream so people know where I am at. I really should be doing these at the beginning of the stream so it doesn't interrupt the flow of this, but let me share this. Because I want everyone else to join in on the fun. Join in on the fun, join in on the fun, join in on the fun, yes. Don't worry, I'll be quick, or as quick as my laptop will allow me right now. Because it doesn't want to move too fast. Alright, live. Now, and then letting my fellow voice actors know what I'm doing as well. And save. Alright. Sorry that took so long. I just wanted to do that. You're getting Mayuri vibes from the old Zenin guy? Yeah, I'm getting some Mayuri vibes from him as well. He always has a contingency plan for everybody. But this fish has been snapped in half by Zenin, and then he goes, secret art, falling blossom emotion. And then we get an explanation. Falling blossom emotion, an anti-domain technique passed down in the big 3 Jujutsu families. Unlike simple domain, it doesn't expand its own domain. Instead, it counterattacks with cursed energy the moment the can't miss attacks make contact. So, wow. So it's an instant auto counter when anything gets within his range. I've seen enough I'll focus 70% of my power for the mustache and 30 for the suit. Technique release, goes Dagon. Death swarm. And then monstrous amalgamations of different sea creatures appear right around Dagon. Like sharks, but they're sharks with multiple eyes and drooling at the mouth, and sea creatures that don't look normal, but look like curses. Maki, the Shikigami won't come looking for us. They'll just consume whatever's there instantly. Don't think. If you feel you've been hit, attack without hesitation. Since you have almost no cursed energy, it's the only thing you can. And before he can say anything, he gets grabbed by a bunch of fish around him instantly. And they all just grab onto Nanami. Mr. Nanami! And then Zenin is just standing there, I guess, automatically defending himself as he goes, "This ain't good. The force of the Shikigami isn't slowing down at all. Could it be the technique connected to this domain is?" And before he can do anything, he gets sent flying by Dagon. Because apparently the Shikigami that Dagon sent blocked his vision. The Shikigami were blocking my view. And then Dagon goes, "The sea is the source of life." And then it shows multiple fish making their way and trying to latch onto Naobito. As Dagon says, "Death Swarm is an endless stream of Shikigami." And then it shows Maki, who hasn't been completely swarmed by fish, right behind Dagon, as Dagon goes, "You're the weakest here." And then it shows him kicking Maki away into a forest, and she hits numerous trees. And then there's silence, and she gets kicked deep into the forest. There's silence, and then she goes, "If you're gonna call me weak, you better kill me in one hit, you darn octopus." And then she just comes right back. "Then I shall grant you the same fate as the other two." And then it goes with Maki saying, "Darn it, I knew I should have met up with Megumi first. No, I should have just taken it out without waiting for permission." "You'll be shredded to pieces," goes Dagon. "Domain expansion. Chimera Shadow Garden." And, the whole area, the sea area, just erupts upwards. Oh, wait! That wasn't Dagon! Yo! We got someone coming in saying, "Domain expansion. Chimera Shadow Garden." I thought this was Dagon, but it's not. It's Megumi! It's Fushigudo! Yo! Fushigudo showed up! Maki! And then a shadow appears through the ocean and makes its way towards Maki, and out of the shadow comes a 3-sectional staff. That same 3-sectional staff that they used against Hanami during the whole sister goodwill event. "Megumi! You know, you're really such a cocky brat." Special grade curse tool, Playful Cloud. This is good. And that was the end of chapter 108. Onwards to the next one. Scenes I was planning to address but forgot about until now. Part 2. Ownership of Playful Cloud. Playful Cloud was left inside Papagudo's cursed spirit, which has the ability to store weapons, and Geto used it in critical moments after leaving Jujutsu High. Gojo reclaimed it during the Night Parade of 100 Demons, Volume 0, but the Zenin clan claimed rightful ownership. Now it's on loan to Maki thanks to Gojo. The relationship between Jujutsu High weapon storage and the big three families will show up later in the story. Probably. Chapter 109, The Shibuya Incident, Part 27. And then it cuts to Maki. Well, it cuts to Fushiguro, who's in a massive black shadowed torrent of a volcano hovering above the ocean, as numerous frog Shikigami just come out of it. "There, that octopus is the master of this domain." And then Dagon goes, voluntarily entering the domain. How foolish, he says, and he tries to grab in the direction, or at least puts his hand in the direction of where Megumi is in, I guess, an attempt to use Death Swarm on him. And Maki comes up right next to him and hits Dagon in the arm. And since this is a special curse grade tool, special grade curse tool, it takes a chunk of his flesh off as well. Then Maki, showing her expertise with the weapon, starts swinging the three-sectional staff and winds up hitting Dagon and sending him flying back a little bit. Death Swarm, the guaranteed hit for this domain is gone. And then it shows Megumi still in his own domain expansion, dealing with Dagon. That boy has expanded his own domain. Right now, it's as if he and I are locked in a domain tug of war. To restore my domain's guaranteed hit, I have to crush his domain. Easy. And then as Dagon says this, two enormous eels comes out of the area in his stomach and jump into the ocean. And then as they make their way towards Megumi, tons of some of his frogs notice this, but they're not quick enough to get to Megumi. But Nanami comes up and slices one of the eels before they can latch on to Megumi. Nanami! What about the other two? Ino had to withdraw and Itadori's on his own. I'll protect you. Please focus on your domain. Wow, Nanami is kind of messed up a little bit. He withstood Death Swarm for about a minute? And as Dagon is thinking this, now Bito Zenin comes in preparing to punch Dagon, and Dagon just barely manages to dodge. The mustache, too. And then Maki comes from his opposite side and tries to hit him with the three-sectional staff, and then Dagon causes enormous eels to shoot out either side to block both Naobito and Maki. And Naobito gets pushed back, but he uses his curse technique to turn the eel into a picture frame, and then pretty much just destroys the frame and the eel inside. And then Maki does what she can to stave off the other eel as well, and she winds up killing that too. And then Naobito says, "Oh, that 471-year-old arm. It's gonna cost ya." Wow, so Naobito lost his arm during the whole Death Swarm situation with him, but he's still alive. And then it shows an eel and what looks to be like another fish going in the ocean trying to make its way towards Fushiguro, but Nanami is using his own curse techniques to keep the fish from touching him. I love the exchanges in this. If things continue like this, we might be able to win. If this continues. Oh wait, this is Nanami thinking. If things continue like this, we might be able to win. That's if this continues. Fushiguro's is at his limit. Nanami! That octopus thinks we're in the midst of a domain battle, but I have a different objective in mind. I'm going to open a hole in the domain's barrier. The hole I came through is already closed. Exiting is much harder than entering. But I can open a hole big enough for one person to go through for a few seconds. The octopus isn't Gojo-sensei. It most likely can't use domain expansion multiple times in one day. If we all escape the domain, then we can win. The barrier's edge is right below me. I know because I touched it when I came through. I'm ready anytime. All three of you, please jump through at once. And then Nanami says, I hope you don't plan on staying behind. Even if I risk my life, I don't plan on throwing it away. And then Nanami goes, You two, assemble! Since they were up against a foe that understands human speech, he conveyed his intent in a roundabout way. They would put their trust in the Grey One Sorcerer's words. And Naobito and Maki both book it and make their way towards where Nanami is, and they just run past Dagon. Escaping the domain, an option that was believed to no longer be possible, had once again come into play. Are they protecting the boy? But that makes it easier for me to get them all at... And then it dawns on Dagon. No! And he immediately starts running towards where Fushiguro and everyone else is. It figured it out, but it's too late. To Fushiguro, says Nanami. And then Fushiguro opens up a hole in the domain for all of them to get through. And as they get there, it looks like it closes. Something happens. Those who inherited the curse of the Zenin family, the one who couldn't fully leave behind that curse, they would all bear witness to the naked flesh of the one who set himself free. To the one who left it all behind and his overwhelming intensity. Oh, right, I just remembered. The spirit and soul of Toji Zenin is still inside of that grandchild guy. He has full control over him, and then he already killed Granny Ogami prior. I completely forgot that Toji Zenin is back. Oh crap, I forgot about that. That's not good. Those who inherited the curse of the Zenin family, the one who couldn't fully leave behind that curse, they would all bear witness to the naked flesh of the one who set himself free, to the one who left it all behind, and his overwhelming intensity. And that's the end of chapter 109. Onwards to 110, but before that, scenes I was forgetting to address but forgot about until now, part 3. In Escaping a Domain. In Volume 2, Gojo said that escaping a domain was practically impossible. He meant that a domain's cubic volume appears completely different on the inside and outside, so someone trapped inside wouldn't know the location of the boundaries. Also, before the domain's prisoner could figure it out, the can't-miss attack would kill that person. And even if that person did figure it out, it would be difficult to break from the inside out, and so on. But as Fushiguro said, he touched the edge when he came through, so they were able to try out his plan. Onwards to chapter 110, the Shibuya Incident, part 27. Well, 28. Why did I say 27? And it shows Nanami. It shows Nanami and Fushiguro as they're on the opposite end of the pool. And it's like an upside-down world, like they're in the upside down. And it shows Toji Zenin just floating in the air beyond them. And Fushiguro's like, who is this? A human? A human sorcerer? Goes Maki. And then Dagon goes, they weren't trying to escape, were they? They weren't trying to escape? Were they trying to let another sorcerer in? And as they're doing this, they're all just looking at Toji Zenin in the air, because he came with them, apparently. And he grabs onto Maki's staff before Maki can even see him move. So fast, and he was in midair just now. And that's not all. What's with his strength? And then it shows him flipping away Maki and taking the 3-sectional staff in his hands. They're still in the domain. They're still there. They couldn't get through. Someone came through instead of them all getting out, because they're still inside of the domain that Dagon created. And then Fushiguro goes, Maki! And Maki goes, I didn't sense any cursed energy. Did I just lose in a battle of strength? Me? Because Maki is crazy strong. But Toji Zenin just took the 3-sectional staff from her completely and threw her aside with absolutely no effort at all. And then Nanami goes, Fushiguro. No good, the hole's closed, and it knows our plan now too. I doubt it'll let us open another one that easily. And then now Bito looks over at Toji and he just goes, Toji? And then it shows Zenin looking, and then it shows Toji looking at him, but his eyes look completely black and shadowed over, and the whole atmosphere around him looks beyond sinister. And then we get some narration. Granny Ogami's seance technique doesn't end with her death, but it's not supposed to last forever. It was supposed to end when the cursed energy of her grandchild ran out. However, from the start, her grandchild's soul, which had already been overwritten by Toji Zenin's physical body, did not possess cursed energy. In addition, that body did not consume cursed energy. Therefore, the event that should have brought about the technique end never came to pass. Multiple irregular circumstances allowed the cursed technique to run rampant. Toji Zenin would fight instinctively until the vessel broke. He had become a puppet of carnage. Wow, so the Graniogami's seance technique is reminiscent of the reanimation jutsu, where normally it would end when the cursed user it's supposed to end when the cursed energy of her grandchild ran out, when the cursed energy of the person it's used on runs out. But it didn't have it, and so many circumstances has caused Toji Zenin to basically become like what Madara did when he released himself from the control of the reanimation jutsu, but could still use the reanimation jutsus, but still under the reanimation jutsu, but released himself from its control. So that's basically what it's like. Now we got a Toji Zenin who's essentially able to run rampant. Toji Zenin would fight instinctively until the vessel broke. He had become a puppet of carnage, baring his fangs at the strongest around. What is this guy? He has no cursed energy. A waste of time, goes Dagon, and he tries to shoot an eel at Toji. And Toji, in an instant, destroys the eel and then pretty much bodies Dagon's face in a beautifully done double spread panel here with blinding speed and sends Dagon flying. What? What is that power? And then Dagon tries to send some piranha his way, and then Toji just slices through every single one of them effortlessly. He's running on water like it's normal. I still don't sense any cursed energy, but still, he keeps getting faster. Toji Zenin is getting faster and faster, and he's moving so fast, he's actually running across the top of the water. This dude has no cursed energy at all, and he's doing the superhuman stuff. Then these giant fishy pill bugs, I forget the specific name of them, come out of the ground, and they try to come up behind Toji, with Dagon thinking, these are the hardest and most powerful Shikigami yet. And it shows them bearing down on Toji. And they try to hit him, but Toji completely dodges both of them, and he still bears himself. He still makes his way towards where Dagon is. We get some descriptions right here. Playful Cloud is the only special grade curse tool not imbued with a curse technique. Pure and solid power. For this reason, its strength depends on the wielder. And then Dagon tries to have this circle of water around him, but it gets destroyed instantly as Toji Zenin bodies Dagon again. And then Maki's just watching as she looks at Naobito, and she says, "Hey geezer, who the heck is that?" "A ghost." And then Hanami says, "Fushiguro, are you good for a little longer?" "Yes. My apologies. We're going to have to bet on him." Wow, so all of them have stopped fighting, and they're relying on the reanimated Toji Zenin to deal with Dagon. And then it shows him rubbing Playful Cloud together, like the ends of Playful Cloud together, and this shocks everyone. And then Maki is going, What the? He's rubbing Playful Cloud together, contorting and sharpening it. Wow, so he, with his bare strength alone, he has taken. I know what I said. I said he is taken. He has taken the ends of Playful Cloud and has rubbed them enough for them to be sharpened into points, just almost instantly. He's rubbing Playful Cloud together, contorting and sharpening it. Is it really possible for me to lose, and to a human without cursed energy? No, I can feel the boy's domain getting weaker. As long as I can regain my domain's can't-miss attack, I can kill them all. But I have to buy time. And then Dagon jumps up in the air. And then Zenin says the exact same thing before the domain expansion, and he goes, "Oh, that's right. You can levitate. Do I need to repeat myself? And then the points. Whoa, what kind of crazy agility? Toji takes all points of the 3-sectional staff and puts them perfectly end to end to launch himself into the air, where he proceeds to stab straight through the head of Dagon, even though Dagon tried to block. And that's the end of chapter 110. Onwards to chapter 111, the Shibuya Incident, part 29. Ooh. But he stabs through. It shows Toji stabbing through the head of Dagon, and he's preparing to stab him again, and Dagon goes, "It's not over yet." And before he can say anything, Toji stabs him in the side of the head, like stabs him in the eye. And then, as they're still midair, Toji then proceeds to just take both ends of the staff and just repeatedly stab Dagon in the head over and over and over and over again. And with that, the domain disappears instantly. And Megumi is going, The domain. He really did exercise that curse all by himself. And then it shows Fushiguro huffing and puffing, with Nanami thinking, if Fushiguro hadn't shown up, we would have undoubtedly all been killed. But now it's on to the next problem. As it shows Toji Zenin walking away from the smoldering, the disappearing and disintegrating body of Dagon, and Nanami is looking at him thinking, is he on our side? And then it cuts to narration again. Fighting solely on instinct, a puppet of carnage, baring his fangs at the strongest around. And then it shows some glass breaking, and Megumi was grabbed and thrown outside. He brought me out here before I knew what happened. That was ridiculously fast. Maybe even faster than that time. And he's thinking back to when he was fighting Sukuna all those volumes ago. Who the heck is this guy? And then Toji is looking at him. Megumi! And then she stops, as apparently Jogo has shown up. Dagon, so you have passed. Wow, so all the big cursed spirits that we saw at the beginning of the series that were with Geto, the only ones that are left are Mahito, and well, Geto's not a cursed spirit, but whatever's controlling him most likely is. Mahito's the only cursed spirit that's still left, along with Jogo. Hanami got crushed to death by Gojo, and Dagon was just killed by the reanimated Toji Zenin. So that's happening, but Jogo is showing up going, Dagon, so you have passed. And then now Bito's thinking, come on, are you kidding? Compared to that cursed Dagon, this one's on another level. Leave the rest to me. Our souls will continue to circulate regardless of humanity's fate. We'll meet again in the wastelands 100 years from now. Now then. Jogo stares at everyone. He stares at everyone, and then in an instant, he's directly in front of Nanami. And everyone is just kind of awestruck as he goes, that's one, and proceeds to shoot an enormous blast at the upper half of Nanami's body. And before Maki can say anything, Jogo is right in front of her. That's two, and proceeds to set Maki on fire. And then it shows Jogo trying to get to Naobito, but he dodges out of the way instantly, as everyone else falls over from the blast that Jogo just hit them with. Nanami got hit with a blast, and Maki got hit with a blast as well. But Naobito jumped away from Jogo before Jogo can actually get close to him. And we get some narration. Projection sorcery, Naobito Zenin's curse technique. By dividing 1 second into 24 frames and using one's field of vision, phone field of view, the user can trace a predetermined set of movements. While the technique is activated, anything touched by Naobito's palm must also abide by the 124 FPS rule when moving. Failure to do so will cause instability in their movement and result in staying frozen for 1 second. However, there is a risk. Once started, the predetermined course of action cannot be altered. In addition, if the trajectory of movement or the laws of physics are ignored excessively, the user will freeze as well. With his natural-born sense of strategic framing and timing, Naobito became known as the fastest jujutsu sorcerer, other than Satoru Gojo. However, that was when he still had his right arm. And it shows that there are lava spouts. Behind Naobito's Zenin that proceeds to catch him in a crossfire by Jogo. Wow, man, Jogo just came in and said, "You killed another of my friends, so now I'm going to kill all of you." This man just killed. I wouldn't say he killed. This man just blasted everyone. I don't know why I said killed. He just blasted everyone with fire, and they're not moving. With Jogo going, "That's 3. And then it shows the charred upper body of Naobito Zenin. And then as he puts his hand on Naobito, he stops because a visage of Sukuna is shown, and then Jogo just stops. And he feels his presence. And he looks away from Naobito Zenin, and he looks with utter shock on his face. "Sukuna? No, it's a finger. A finger was released somewhere in Shinjuku." And the 2 girls that were right in front of Yuji, as they prepared to feed him a finger, they have dragged him out of the bathroom with one going, "Let's hurry, Nanako. The finger might attract her spirits. I know. Please, come out, Master Sukuna." And they force feed Yuji one of the fingers while he's still unconscious. They force feed him a finger. And then Jogo shows up just in time to see them feed a finger to Yuji. And he just stares. And then he looks at Yuji and he's upset. And then he just goes, "You, how many fingers did you feed him?" We're not gonna tell you," says Mimiko. "Mimiko!" "Fine, then die." And then it shows... Nanako holding up her phone. And I guess they just straight up disappear? Or no! No! Why was she holding up her phone? Because it shows their charred, smoking bodies right behind Jogo. As there's just like a boof sound effect, as if to say like he just burned both Mimiko and Nanako. And then he looks at Yuji because he has the markings of Sukuna on his skin. "Good, the marks are still there. Not how I would have hoped, but I'll make the best of it. Even if Yuji Todori were to consume all 20 fingers, he probably still wouldn't lose control of his body to Sukuna. That's if he consumes a finger a day for 20 days. And then it cuts to Geto in the past saying, "If he were to consume 10 fingers at once, he probably wouldn't be able to counteract it. And, although temporarily, he would lose control of his body to Sukuna." And Jogo takes out a container. He takes out a container from underneath his cloak, and in it is zip-tied numerous fingers of Sukuna. How many fingers is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 fingers of Sukuna are already right here. How many fingers has Yuji eaten already? I forget. But these are 10 fingers of Sukuna directly in front of him. "Time to wake up, Sukuna." And that's the end of chapter 111 And then we have a little side page here as he goes. Apparently, it's difficult to force feed someone who's sleeping. Something to do with the pharyngeal reflex. Pharyngeal reflex? I want to hope I'm saying that right. Chapter 112, The Shibuya Incident, Part 30. Wow, and he force feeds all these fingers to Yuji. That's 10 whole fingers of Sukuna that he just force fed to Yuji while he's still unconscious.
That's all 10, which means Itadori's consumed at least 15 fingers.
15. That means there's only 5 fingers left for all 20. What? I didn't think that he was going to be consuming all the fingers this fast what? And then someone coughs, and Nanako and Mimiko get back up. They get back up. They originally looked like they burned their entire bodies, but they get back up coughing and wheezing. And they're both fine. They're still smoldering and smoking a little bit, but they're both fine.
So, you're alive. Probably due to one of their techniques, but they look scared. They likely can't do it several times.
And as he holds his hand up preparing to burn them, he goes,
"What a pain."
But the thing about him holding up his hand is that he holds up his arm, but his hand is gone. Like it's been sliced up before he even knew it was sliced off. And then he starts to notice, and then Mimiko and Nanako stare at him, going, Oh. I thought it was Mimiko and Nanako, but they both look fearful. As someone says,
"You have 1 second. Move."
As Sukuna wakes up and stares at Jogo, who he apparently sliced the hand off of. And Jogo immediately jumps backwards. And his heart starts beating. And then he starts, regenerating his hand.
So this is Sukuna. Sukuna's strength is different than Satoru Gojo's. It's overwhelmingly evil.
And then Nanako goes, I'm scared that any move we make will mean our deaths. Breathe. Wait, is it even okay to breathe? He won't kill us for breathing, will he? And then Sukuna just looks at him, and then he just pulls his hair back and goes,
"Holding your head's a little high, don't you think?"
And then both Nanako and Mimiko both bow their heads in an instant. And they both kneel. But as they kneel, the top of Jogo's head gets sliced off by an unseen force that leaves a ginormous cut crater behind them. So Mimiko and Nanako ducked all the way down to the ground, but Jogo didn't move far enough, and the top of his volcano head got sliced off by something.
My buddy moved without
and that's when his top of his head gets sliced. And then blood just starts pooling out of the cut that was made, apparently, by Sukuna.
You thought kneeling on just 1 knee would be enough. The boughs that bear the most hang the lowest. But it seems your head doesn't bear much. You kids, is there something you'd like to ask of me? I'll give you 1 finger's worth of time. Go on.
And then Nanako goes, Down below, there's a man wearing a priest's robe with stitches on his forehead. Please kill him. Please free Master Geto. And both Mimiko and Nanako bow their heads. And then we go back in time to when Mimiko and Nanako were both serving Geto back then. Master Geto? Who's Satoru Gojo anyway? He's super strong, right? He was my best friend, but we fought and it's been like this ever since. And then it just goes to Nanako going, We love you. Satoru Gojo,
will never forgive you for killing Master Gato, but we were okay with letting things be. Satoru Gojo is Master Gato's one and only best friend after all. But you...
And then it cuts to whoever's controlling Gato's body with the scar across his head.
You're not Master Gato. You can go to hell. We know where there's another finger. We'll make you regret what you did. If you kill him, we'll tell you where it is.
And then Sukuna goes... Nanako goes...
So, please.
And then Sukuna interrupts her and goes,
raise your heads.
And though both Mimiko and Nanako look at him, and then Sukuna just goes, Oh, whoa! Whoa! They both raise their heads, and in an instant, what is it, Mimiko? Nanako's the girl with the light hair, but Mimiko's the girl with the black hair. Mimiko, her entire body is just eviscerated, just in an instant. Like her whole body just, in an instant, just gets blown apart. Right next to Nanako. And she looks and she goes, what?
You thought you could order me around just for a finger or two? Mimiko! Mimiko! I'm not pleased.
And then she takes out her phone.
Sukuna! Die!
And as she says this, the top... Oh my goodness! Yo! As she says die, the upper half of her head is sliced off completely. And then you see the upper half of her head just flying through the air, and then Sukuna, without moving, just blows her body apart in square chunks. Like, think Gildart's magical ability in Fairy Tail, where he's able to blow things apart in, like, cubes. He did that to Nanako's body. He just brutally massacred Mimiko, and then sliced down Nanako like she was caught up in, like, the laser grid of the Resident Evil films. And before her body chunks fall to the... This is brutal. Wow. Here's the thing. I bought these volumes, and then one dude at Barnes & Noble told me, like, just be prepared for the Shibuya incident. I was not prepared for this much evisceration. I was not prepared for all of this. People are dying. People are dying. And as her body pieces are falling, he catches the phone and goes... Sukuna catches the phone and goes,
the phone. No, it's probably the camera. Most likely something to do with manipulating the photographed subject. How boring.
And then he crushes the phone in his hands.
You're next, cursed spirit. What do you need?
And then Jogo, who has slowly regrown the top of his head, goes,
Nothing. What? Our objective is to fully revive you. Right now, Itadori is helpless to counter, but this is only temporarily. Surely you know that better than anyone. Even if Sukuna's reverse curse technique can heal others, Mahito's idle transfiguration technique isn't something that can be fixed. It's not that Sukuna didn't make a binding vow then. He couldn't. Make a binding vow with Yuji Itadori before he takes control again. A binding vow that'll let you take over his body permanently. Shibuya is crawling with Itadori's friends. Use them as leverage.
And then Sukuna just goes,
Not necessary. What? I have my own plans. But you cursed spirits sure are desperate too. As a token of my appreciation for the fingers, if you can land even one hit on me, I'll do as you cursed spirits ask for now. As for my first order of business, how about I kill every human in Shibuya? All but one, that is.
And then Jogo just goes,
It's a deal.
And that's the end. Yo! So much is going on in this volume! So much is going on in this volume! And that's the end of chapter 112. Onwards to chapter 113, the Shibuya Incident Part 31. And we cut back to Toji Zenin and Megumi.
Thanks to Inumaki, the civilians and the transfigured humans are gone. I can concentrate on the opponent in front of me. Try to visualize winning against this guy. Visualize. Visualize winning.
And then it shows Zenin preparing the one section of the quarterstaff that he has, like the 3-sectional staff, and it's just one in his hands. And then Megumi uses Rapid Escape. I gave myself hiccups. Hold on, I gotta get rid of them. The whole area just erupts in rabbits.
That presence I just felt was
Sukuna. Oh wait, they all feel this. They all start shuddering because they feel the presence of Sukuna in the environment.
That present I just felt was Sukuna's finger. What the heck is going on in Shibuya?
And then, as the rabbit escape is engulfing Fushiguro, a light comes in, and Toji Zenin cuts straight through the rabbit escape and almost hits Megumi. And Megumi just barely manages to dodge.
He instinctively charged in.
And then it shows Megumi trying his best to run away from Toji Zenin.
I don't have enough cursed energy left for a domain expansion. I'm out of things that might distract him, and it wouldn't be strong enough to trap him anyway. The longer this drags out, the worse it'll get. Gotta end this quickly. My sole advantage.
And then it cuts to 10 o'clock, 10:51 p.m. Metropolitan Expressway, route number 3 in the Shibuya line, Shibuya Tollgate. And it shows some cursed spirits and what might be transfigured humans. And then it cuts to Shoko and Yaga, who are there.
Principal, we've got some cursed corpses here too. I'll be fine on my own.
Not a chance. If the enemy finds out about this place, they'll come straight to kill you, Shoko.
You're overreacting.
Overreacting? Using a reverse curse technique to heal others, that's something not even Satoru can do. Ino and Ichichi would have died if you weren't here.
That's thanks to your quick thinking, Principal. It would have been too late if I came after Nanami called. It was also smart to free up Nanami. Having him stay on phone duty would have been a waste.
I thought you quit smoking.
I'm just feeling nostalgic about my student days.
And then it shows Megumi steadily running away from Toji Zenin as he uses a frog Shikigami to whip him through a alleyway before Toji can stab him.
My sole advantage is that Ieri is here in Shibuya. This monster took out a special grade cursed spirit. My Shikigami are no match for him. Plus, I have to save my Shikigami for the fights to come. Any risk I take have to come at the expense of my own body. I need to limit my injuries to something Ieri can handle so I can get back to battle right away. I've narrowed down his options,
because he's in a narrow alleyway right now.
His speed rivals Sukuna's, but without using cursed energy. He's like Maki, but fully realized. Just seeing him is near impossible. I have to predict the timing of his movements. If I mess up the timing, I'm dead. If I mess up the timing,
And as he says this, and as he's thinking this, Toji looks like he almost stabs where Megumi is, and Megumi dodges one attack and he kind of diverts it. And he allows himself to get stabbed through the side a little bit in order to grab onto Toji and take a cursed tool and stab Toji Zenin with it, because he also used his shadow to make his attack diverge away from him. As a way to, like, he had his foot fall into a shadow hole so that his attack wouldn't exactly hit him. And then he takes a sword out of the shadows and stabs Toji Zenin with it. But then Toji Zenin is not where he stabbed.
Darn it. How the heck did you dodge that?
And then Toji is looking at Fushiguro, and then Megumi just goes,
Now what? Am I gonna have to do it?
and then Toji Zenin's eyes open wide a little bit, and then I guess we cut back to when Toji Zenin was alive.
Even though he's my kid, he's definitely got potential. If his curse technique manifests when he's around 5 or 6, handing him over to you guys won't be a problem. But that depends on the money, of course. I'll be expecting 8 for an inherited technique. 7 without it.
And this is when Toji Zenin was speaking to Naobito Zenin in the past.
We'll give you 10 if he possesses an inherited technique.
And then it shows Toji walking by himself.
Take care of Megami, okay? That place is useless for someone like me. But for him, for someone with potential, it'll be a little better. I don't care. I don't care anymore. Hey, what's your name?
And then Megumi goes,
Fushiguro.
and then Toji lifts up the spear, the end of the spear that he had, and then he goes,
Not Zenin, huh? Good for you.
and then proceeds to stab himself in the head. He proceeds to stab himself in the head. A heavenly gifted body strong enough to overwrite the soul. For him, even this out-of-control curse technique wasn't. And then Toji Zenin just falls to the ground, blood pooling out of his head. And that's the end of chapter 114. Chapter 113. That's the end of chapter 113. Chapter 114. Wow. Chapter 114, the Shibuya Incident, Part 32. How far am I? How many are in this? Oh, we're almost done. We only got one more chapter after this one, and then we can call it a session here for today. Chapter 114, the Shibuya Incident, Part 32. And Megumi looks at his face, and he thinks
His face changed. I'm lucky that he ended it himself, but what the heck was that?
And then it cuts back to when Naobito said,
Toji?
and then it cuts to Toji when he said, good for you. And then Megumi grabs his side that was stabbed into, and he goes, and he thinks,
Don't think about it now. Gotta get to Yeri first. No, I should make sure Maki and the others are okay.
Then he gets sliced in the back because Ponytail Guy is back. And he looks behind him, and Ponytail Guy just says, there we go. This is what I'm talking about. I'm better suited for this kind of stuff. And then it cuts to Panda and the other great sorcerer. I forget his name. It was something. Oh, wait, it's Kusakabe. Panda said it. Panda said it right here. 11:01 p.m. in front of Shibuya Street.
Kusakabe, haven't we checked enough for these buildings? Haven't we checked enough of these buildings? They're still in the curtain, but thanks to Toge, the citizens are somewhere safe. The civilians are somewhere safe. Let's find Satoru already. Where the heck is Fukutoshin Line basement 5th floor anyway? Toge confirmed Gojo's ceiling too, so we better hurry.
Gojo. Not the only person who matters, you know.
And then Panda gets, kind of upset at this comment.
What if there's someone scared and hiding somewhere? For instance, a young schoolgirl. Just think if we didn't find her. We might as well be accomplices to the ruination of a bright future of promise.
Oh, wait. No, wait. This is Kusakabe saying this.
What if there's someone scared and hiding somewhere? For instance, a young schoolgirl. Just think if we didn't find her. We might as well be accomplices to the ruination of a bright future full of promise.
I guess you're right.
If you get it, then get back to searching. No stone left unturned, you idiot. This is bad. I'm at my limit with the excuses. There's no way I'm gonna go down to basement 5th floor. I got to buy more time, cuz I don't wanna die. The fewer people around, the sharper Panda's nose becomes. He might end up going to basement 5th floor by himself. But I want to avoid that too, cuz I don't want to be alone in Shibuya right now. Even though he's a panda, he's more humane than I am. But since he's a panda, he's got no sense of direction in Shibuya. He doesn't realize that the Fukutoshin line is literally around the corner if we go from the ground floor.
I'm gonna go look over there. Gotta look carefully. Gotcha.
Look carefully. I'm gonna buy some time by pretending to be lost after entering the station from the Shinminami entrance. After all, this is the group that sealed Gojo. And what the heck's up with that huge cursed energy appearing and disappearing? No thanks. The heck with this.
Then they feel a presence right around them. As someone says, "So you're Jujutsu High sorcerers, right? Just give up. I don't want to kill a sorcerer." And then Kusakabe doesn't say anything.
Panda, there are 3 behind us. Probably more hiding. I don't want to be killed either, but I really can't say sure. Please tell us your story and take as much time as you want.
And then the girl that's with this guy with a band, because the people who are standing there is a dude in robes with a black undershirt, and he has like a bandage eye patch going across his face. And right next to him is a lady who has like a coat tied around her shoulders, and she goes, "We've inherited Master Gato's will. Since you're from Jujutsu High, I imagine I don't need to say more." And then it cuts back to the past when the rest of the subordinates of Gato were all together, because it shows Mimiko and Nanako are there, and well, we all know what just happened to them. "You mean so we can eventually get Master Gato's body back, right?"
No, we know neither the imposter's objective nor their identity,
says that one guy with the eye patch.
If Satoru Gojo is incapacitated and the world falls into chaos, the non-sorcerer monkeys will be the ones who suffer. Only the strong will survive. Monkeys will be weeded out. Sorcerers will increase and curses will disappear. For now, we're helping for the sake of the world Master Gato envisioned. His body is no concern of ours. That's what it means to inherit his will.
And then Nanako goes, "Stop your blathering already. Like heck we're gonna let our beloved body be used like a zombie." And then Nanako goes, "Master Gato's story has come to an end. I'm not gonna let his legacy be tainted." And then the girl that's with them, the woman that was with this guy with the eye patch, goes, "Act like an adult, Nanako." "Adult or child? What the heck does that matter?" And then she pulls out her phone, and both the people, and both those 2 people that we see in the present, both prepare to defend themselves, and there's a big muscly guy who's standing in between them, and he just screams out loud and stomps on the ground, which causes everyone to stop and freeze.
Stop, both of you. Suguru wouldn't want us fighting like this. Neither of you are wrong. We'll go our separate ways and do what we want.
"What about you, Laru?"
Or is it Larue?
"What about you, Larue?"
I won't go with either of you. Same as Miguel, I just wanted to help Suguru become king. But never forget, we are family. The day will come when we break bread again.
So the guy with the eye patch is called Miguel. And then Miguel says, the woman right next to Miguel says, "So, do you surrender? I don't like indecisive men."
Darn, is the story finished already?
I guess I don't count since I'm a panda.
But to be honest, the group led by sorcerers of this level? This is too good. Gonna take my time here and avoid any fights with special grade curses.
And then Kusakabe draws his sword and spits out the little toothpick he had in his mouth.
New shadow style. Evening moon sword drawing.
And then Miguel says,
"So that's your answer."
And then, as he's putting his hand down, a light flashes behind Miguel, and then there's a massive explosion that happens that surprises everyone. Not just Kusakabe, but also Miguel and the other curse user that's right next to him as well. And a building explodes behind them. And then we get someone laughing like crazy in the background as Jogo is sent flying through the air. As he's sent flying through the air blood spewing out of his mouth because Sukuna is just bodying the dude.
Is that all you've got, cursed spirit?
And that is the end of chapter 114. Onwards to the last chapter of today, chapter 115, the Shibuya Incident, part 33. Wow. And it shows Sukuna throwing Jogo outside as Sukuna goes,
Is that all you've got, cursed spirit?
Not yet. Not yet!
As Jogo prepares to shoot a blast at Sukuna, but Sukuna cuts off both of his hands instantly and is behind Jogo. Why do I keep calling him Jugo? I'm sorry. He's behind Jogo and then proceeds It looks like he tries to use his head and contort it so he can blast him away from Sukuna, but Sukuna not only notices this, but catches Jogo mid-flight and then slams his head into the ground. And since he did this on the top of a building, he slams him through several floors.
The moonlight's illumination makes it easier to see how pathetic you are.
And it shows Jogo, who's apparently his jaw has dislocated as he's fighting Sukuna. I say fighting, but it's not a fight.
How strong am I in terms of Sukuna's fingers?
Being generous, I say about 8 or 9.
I knew it, but I didn't think the difference would be this great. Come on, you can still do it. I'll keep you company until I'm bored.
And then it shows Jogo staring at him, and then using his power, he causes the entire building that they're in Winter Lemonade. You are just now coming in on the last chapter of volume 13. So many things have been happening in this volume. Oh my goodness, this has got to be some of the most brutal chapters I've seen of Jujutsu thus far since I've been reading these. Every time I read them, but it's just become even more brutal. But Jogo blows up the building that they're in, causing Sukuna to just launch outside as Jogo prepares to try and, harm Sukuna.
Maximum Meteor.
And then Sukuna just looks at it, and it shows a massive meteor in the distance from Kusakabe and Panda. And then two curse users, and Panda and Kusakabe start to make their move to run, and then two other curse users appear in front of him going, "Where do you think you're going?" And then the woman that is with Miguel goes, "Not now, we don't have time for
new shadow style, battle sword drawing."
And in an instant, Kusakabe cuts through the other curse users that try to stop both him and Panda.
Listen up, you curse users. I don't know what the heck happened, but those two fighting there are special grade. Think of them as elephants tap dancing on ants, and we're the ants. Hurry up and run! Hurry up and run!
And before Kusakabe can finish, Sukuna is directly in between Kusakabe and Panda.
I won't allow that.
And everybody stops what they're doing, and they all sweat bullets. Miguel, the woman that's with him, Panda, Kusakabe.
To all humans in the vicinity, until I say otherwise, you are forbidden from moving. If you break this rule, I will kill you.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! He orders everyone not to move as Jogo is above everyone in the vicinity with his giant maximum meteor preparing to bring it down, and Sukuna is daring everyone to move from that spot. If you move, I'll kill you. This is a sick game of chicken he's playing right now.
All humans, you don't get to move and save yourself unless I say so.
He's got them all. And they're just standing there, and then Panda's going, "Itadori?" And then Sukuna is going,
"Hold on. Not yet. Not yet.
Now!" And then Kusakabe and Panda, and basically everyone immediately books it from the location as the meteor comes crashing down in the middle of the city. Let me say that again. A giant meteor comes crashing down in the middle of the city that Sukuna dared anyone to leave from. And then it shows Jogo on top of this meteor huffing and puffing. As he goes,
"Even Sukuna must have suffered some damage from that."
and then Sukuna is right next to Jogo, saying,
"If it hit, why don't you use your domain? I know I'd lose in a battle of domains. Is it because that's what happened with Satoru Gojo? Spoken like a true loser. But since things are getting interesting, how about I fight using your specialty?"
And then he says some unintelligible word, and then he says,
"Open."
and then all of a sudden, Jogo stares in utter shock at Sukuna as he goes,
"Those are flames?" "Oh, that's right. I thought you'd know about this, but I suppose the cursed spirit wouldn't. Doesn't Sukuna's curse technique involve slicing and slashing?" "Don't worry, I won't cheat by revealing my curse technique. Get ready. Let's have a firepower battle."
and that is the, to be continued. Sukuna just copied Jogo's abilities. I'm with Jogo. I thought he could only do like slicing and slashing, but no. He says open, and then he's able to conjure up flames just like Jogo. That's the end. That's the end of the chapter, and that's the end of volume 13. Oh, what is going on? Oh, what is going on? So many things happened in this volume. Dagon was killed by the reanimated body of Toji Zenin. Mimiko and Nanako were completely eviscerated by Sukuna when they tried to get him to go down and kill whoever's in control of Geto's body. Yuji has been force-fed 10 additional fingers of Sukuna, which means that he's up to 15 fingers eaten. With only 5 left, Sukuna is in control of Yuji's body, and he's just bodying everyone he comes across, saying that he'll follow what the cursed spirits say if Jogo's able to land even one hit on him. And an entire battle has been going on between both Sukuna and Jogo still hasn't touched him. But Sukuna is just toying with this guy. And then he lets him bring down a meteor, daring any person, including Kusakabe and Panda, and the 2 other curse users that serve under Geto, daring them like, hey, this meteor's coming down, but until I say otherwise, no one moves. If you move, I'll kill you. And then waits until the last possible second for everyone to just get the heck out of there, allowing the meteor to fall right where he is, but it still doesn't do anything to him because he's on top of the meteor sitting right next to Jogo, saying, well, if that hit me, that would have done some damage. And then the dude just says like, all right, I've been fighting you all this time, and why don't you use your domain? And Jogo's all like, I'm not stupid. I know I would lose in a battle in domains with you. And then he says, fine, let's make this even. Let me read that again. Let me read this again. This was an amazing chapter. Oh my goodness, if I see this animated. And then Sukuna says, Jogo says, I know I'd lose in a battle of domains. And then Sukuna says, is it because that's what happened with Satoru Gojo? Spoken like a true loser. But since things are getting interesting, how about I fight using your specialty? And then he says some unintelligible word. And then after he says, open. And then Sukuna conjures up flames in his hands and copies the same type of fiery technique as Jogo. And he says, oh, that's right. I thought you'd know about this, but I suppose a cursed spirit wouldn't. And then Jogo is confused, thinking, doesn't Sukuna's curse technique involve slashing and slicing? And then Sukuna goes, don't worry, I won't cheat by revealing my curse technique. Get ready, let's have a fire power battle. And then it's like, all right, I'm able to fight against you just effortlessly as I am, so let me see if I can even the playing field by fighting at your level. And the dude is toying with him, saying, let me lower myself to the amount of power you have to make this fight interesting. For you. Oh, I love this story. I love this story. I love this story so much. It's so good. I'm so good. I'm looking forward to the next session where we continue with more Jujutsu Kaisen. That's all I got for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. Join me tomorrow as I continue with more Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm making very good progress in that game, and I've been building a ton of things. I'm looking forward to progressing through Metal Gear Solid and even finishing Metal Gear Solid so I can start to play some more games or start to read some more manga as well. A lot of things on my lineup, but overall, I enjoyed myself. All I can say at the end of the day is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, and maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples. This volume is going to stick to me in my head for the rest of the day. There was so much evisceration, so much power, so much awesomeness. I love Jujutsu Kaisen. Good God.